Bye-bye.
Okay, so I managed to fit the truck inside my garage. Barely. At first I didn't think it was going to fit, but somehow I made it work. I always find it way easier to work on my truck inside the garage rather than out in the driveway. But anyways, let's get started. What I'm doing today is going to be going through the delete process on an LML Duramax. This one happens to be a 2015 and a half. What I'm using is a 5-inch FlowPro stainless steel downpipe back exhaust, no muffler. I have tuning through GDP, and I'll be using the EFI Live AutoCal V3 to install the tunes. And for the EGR, I'll just be unplugging it for now for the sake of the video. Okay, so I have the AutoCal right here. I'm going to turn my key to the on position and plug it into the OBD2 port on the truck. Once it lights up, you have multiple options to pick from. You can check all those out, but what I'm looking for is to go into tuning, program full, and then select my tunes. Of course, it's going to give me all the warnings and whatnot. Scroll through those. Unlicensed controller, license it, continue. And now it's going to begin the full flash process. This might take a little bit, so I'm going to set this down real quick and I'll get back to you. Alright, looks like the flash was completed successfully. Only option is to exit from here. Switch off the ignition and wait for the countdown to complete. Alright, now that it's back to this screen, it's time to start taking things off. Here's the actual 5-inch exhaust that I'll be installing. You've got your clamps here, all the parts, all the sections. I'll also be utilizing this 7-inch exhaust tip that actually came off of the Ram Dually when I decided to install a cat stack. And this kit is equipped with the 3-bolt flange style downpipe connection that I'll show you guys once I get under the truck. As you can see here, the 2015 and a half and 2016 model LML Duramaxes have this 3-bolt flange style connection at the downpipe, while the 11 to 15 models, I believe, have a V-band clamp style connection. So that's something you're going to want to be sure you look into before ordering your exhaust. Now to begin, you're basically going to want to start by removing any sensors or hoses that are connected to the exhaust. I'm going to try my best to show you them. Right away we see this guy right here. You also have a hose and another connection back there. Not sure if you can see it. Undo the hose. Get it out of the way. And disconnect this as well. And now moving a little further back, we have this weird wire hanger system thing. My recording is definitely of no help here. But basically you have to disconnect and remove all this crap connected to the frame and whatnot. Alright, so there was two hoses to disconnect over there. This sensor bridge combo thing. You can see a couple more right here, and I believe just one more sensor over there. I believe that's it, and now it's time to bring out the WD-40 for the exhaust hangers. My plan is to remove the exhaust in just two sections. In the middle of the truck you have this 4-bolt connection that seems to almost perfectly split the exhaust in half. Maybe a little more on this end. I just need to slip the exhaust out of the hangers first. Okay, so I was able to slide out the first section, as you can see here. But in order to do so, I actually had to jack up the rear of the truck to give the exhaust more clearance to fit over the rear axle. I didn't have to raise it much. The rear tires could still remain on the ground, but I did also have to remove the spare tire to give it more room as well, as you can see. And now back under the truck we have the remaining exhaust section.
What the fuck is that?
In order to get this piece out without cutting it, it requires you to loosen the transmission cross member to allow the exhaust to slide out. I'm using a jack to hold up the transmission, and I just completely removed the cross member to give myself the most space. All it is 2 bolts on this side and 2 bolts across on the other side. But make sure you support the trans. Okay, I pulled the final piece off, and this is what we're left with. Just look at the comparison from the old to the new piece. Oh, and here's a better look at that 3-bolt flange that I was telling you about earlier. If your truck has this, then you're going to want to make sure that whatever kit you buy has this type of flange included. Removal was the hard part. Now time for the install. Alright, roughly half the exhaust is installed. Super straightforward. All the hangers go into the same factory locations. And now I just need to attach the rest of the sections here.
A few moments later.
And there you have it. All the clamps have been tightened. The fitment was great. And due to it being a long bed, I didn't have to shorten anything at all. And for the EGR really quick, there's 3 plugs in the engine bay that you'll want to disconnect. We have this black one here in the middle, and then you have 2 orange ones on each side. You have this one back here. And then the last one over here. And now everything is complete, and we're ready for the fun part. The first startup is always the best.